All right, breaking news. Literally moments ago, British Columbia announced Trikafta is being funded in BC.
Dude, okay, so it's like, what do you think? Like,
I don't know.
do you think a month?
Is there more to that? Or like
That's it. That's
I was waiting for you to say Nova Scotia.
No,
I feel like benefit of the doubt. If I'm being generous, I would say benefit of the doubt to the Nova Scotia government is that we just had an election.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
I would say as well. Now, here's the thing. When we released our episode last week, we were like, tweet at Michelle Thompson. Now, we record these on Tuesdays, our Feel Good Friday episodes, typically. So if by Friday news has changed, then news has changed. But as it stands right now, BC is the 5th province to add Trikafta to the
AFCs,
to the formulary. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. Again, if it hasn't changed, get on Twitter and send that tweet. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah, join the 100,000 people that last week that did that. We really do appreciate so many people doing that. And please join.
Just a little humble brag there of our numbers.
Join the sicko army.
We're trying to reach 1 million this week.
Okay, so I wanted to get that right out of the way. And now I want to move into a little bit of a personal note. How many optometrists do you think listen to our show?
7.
It's an optometrist, right? The doctor that works on the eyes?
Or is that an ophthalmologist?
Ah, fuck, really, guys?
Optometrist?
I think it's an ophthalmologist.
What's the difference between, because there's a difference between an optometrist.
An optometrist, I don't think I could be fucking this up.
Ophthalmologists diagnose and treat injuries, infections, diseases, and disorders in the eye. And what did I say?
I think an optometrist.
I think they deal with eyesight. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
optometrist. Here we go. Hold on. Optometrist. Doctors of optometry. America's primary eye healthcare providers are the front line of eye. Well, this is very confusing.
All right, so you know the difference.
It seems like weve got an overlap here.
Well, I feel like you got to just Google optometrist versus ophthalmologist.
Yeah. Let's see.
This is my favorite thing.
Ophthalmologist.
Do you think that this is going to be like a psychologist and psychiatrist thing where like there's so much overlap?
It is. The major difference between an optometrist and an ophthalmologist is that an ophthalmologist is a licensed medical doctor, and an optometrist is a doctor of optometry, an OD. So the difference between an MD and an OD, as a licensed MD, an ophthalmologist can perform eye surgery, whereas an ophthalmologist or an optometrist cannot.
Right. Okay.
That's better. That's more clarifying.
I stand by my question. How many optometrists do you think listen to the show?
I mean, that's
48.
That's like how many people are dead in this graveyard?
48?
How many optometrists are there out of 100,000 people?
Come on, guys.
Well, that's how many people wrote to Michelle Thompson last week. So I'm just trying to figure it out.
My hope is that at least one is listening.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
that's for sure.
You think it's for sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the chances are high, but I'm going to hope that at least one is.
You could be like, how many people do you think listen to the show that are in a scat play? There's definitely one.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You could also say how, because I know what your real question is.
Hey, stop feasting on the plants.
What your real question is you're looking for advice. So your real question is, out of all of the optometrists that listen or ophthalmologists, how many of them will write in with a response to your question?
That's right. So I'm not really looking for advice because I have something interesting that I want to get to the fucking bottom of. Have you guys noticed anything different about me lately?
You're not wearing your glasses.
Been wearing your glasses?
Yeah, I haven't been wearing my glasses. You want to know why?
I mean, I didn't actually notice that. I just inferred that by the way that you were talking.
Yeah,
right
me too.
now.
And also, you sort of tilted your head and like presented your face like, do you notice anything different
about the upper third of my head
where I usually wear glasses?
So the thing about glasses and me is that glasses are a new thing in my life. I've only started wearing them really in the last several months. Never had to wear them in my entire life. I'm 33 years old. And I started noticing that my left eye was getting really shitty. Like I would close my right eye and I couldn't read that case of Red Bull over there. Which is about, I don't know, what's that, like 10 feet away.
Which case of Red Bull? Because we have
the one on the counter.
So many cases of Red Bull.
Or those ones up on the top shelf. So I was noticing this issue and I went, well, I guess I got to go see an optometrist which I did. Now, he spoke very quickly, and English was not his first language. And I had a hard time retaining a lot of the things that he said to me in my appointment. But what I did gather was that I have an astigmatism. I think we talked about this on the show. I had an astigmatism, and I had a very small, a sort of minor prescription needed for my eyes, left eye in particular. So I ordered some glasses from Warby Parker, and it helped a lot wearing the glasses. It took care of the issue. On top of that, I actually really liked the way that glasses looked on my face. I was like, oh, I've always kind of wanted to wear glasses, and now I have to.
And you never wanted to go down the path of Brian where you got glasses that don't have an actual lens in there.
Fuck no.
Fake glasses.
Never going to do that.
Yeah.
Fuck boy shit.
They're for blue light. But anyway, you guys wouldn't know much about that.
Definitely not for blue light. But
okay.
Yeah.
And so I was wearing the glasses for a while, and then what I noticed, so again, this is like maybe 6 months of wearing glasses. Over the last like month, I started to notice about midway through the day, I would get these like, not so much a headache, not a full-on headache, but I would feel like almost pressure in my face. And I'm going, what the fuck? Like, why am I so fucking uncomfortable? Yep. And I'm like taking Advil every day.
Silence.
And so I then was like, well, maybe it's my glasses. So I took my glasses off, didn't wear them. And can we turn our fucking phones off? Dude, what the fuck, guys?
Not mine.
Mine's not on.
Mine's not on. Is it yours?
No.
Oh, it's his fucking new iPad.
Your fucking
That's
iPad.
That's what it is.
God damn.
Get your shit together, Brian.
We're also looking for new hosts.
We're just getting really bored about your eye story. Keep going.
So I took my glasses off, and I didn't wear them for a full day, and I didn't have the headache. Then I started to fucking cover my eye. Dude, my eye is fine.
Hold on, guys.
It's not me.
We got to get to the bottom of this. What's going on? It is you.
You're getting dings. You're getting fucking ding-donged up.
Where's it coming from?
Dude, there's so many ding-dongs happening.
Is it your fucking watch?
Oh, is it your watch? You've got four Apple devices
I don't have an Apple
connected
watch on.
to your body right now.
But
guys, we were real great track.
I honestly don't know where it's coming from because the volume's off on this and this, and I just got it. Where's that coming from?
It's coming from this direction. Looks like, is it coming from your asshole? What are you doing?
I'll just turn off all my devices.
Brian's got a
good idea.
Brian's got an Apple heart rate. He's got the new Apple butthole sensor.
Who's sending me all these messages, you guys?
I don't know, man.
It's literally
it's every 2 seconds.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Anyway,
hope you enjoyed that, everybody.
Yeah. So
how long have we been doing this thing for?
So my question is it fucking possible? Like, how is my eye's better now? Like, if I close my right eye, I can see with my left eye fine.
Oh, well, you just got a misdiagnosis.
Yeah.
That's all.
So what the fuck was it? What the fuck was going on with my eye?
I don't know. I find that sometimes.
But hold on. Here's why I challenge that, because the glasses actually helped when I got the glasses.
Right. But how long were you experiencing the issue before you got the glasses? Like, did you notice it and then you went right to the optometrist? Or
yeah, it was very rapid. It came on maybe in the span of like a week, and it lasted for like 3 weeks before I went and got checked.
Yeah, I mean that's a long time. I've had experiences where I have if I've fallen asleep in a really weird way, like traveling, like sleeping on a plane or sleeping on the floor of an airport or something like that, where your face is smashed into something, and I'll wake up and my vision will be kind of fucked up in both or one eye for a period of time. I mean, I'm talking an hour.
Yeah.
Like something short. So I'm thinking, I don't really think that this is plausible, but maybe that you had something going on with your eye that it was fucking up your vision and it just lasted a really long time. I mean, that sounds improbable, but
yeah.
I don't know.
I want to get to the bottom of it. If you're an optometrist or an ophthalmologist or just some fucking nerd that knows shit about eyes, letters@sickboypodcast.com. Let me know.
Yeah. I mean, this is really a call out to all our sleuths.
Yeah. This is for those internet sleuths
to get to community.
To get to the bottom of it. I really am I'm also kind of annoyed because I bought 2 pairs of glasses, and glasses are cheap.
But are they?
No, it really
they fuck with you?
It fucking irritates me.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like, have you ever put someone's glasses on that aren't yours?
Yeah.
And like after 5 minutes, you're like, oh, Jesus.
Well,
Christ.
I mean, worst case scenario, which is also the best case scenario, you don't need glasses.
Yeah, I guess
And then
so.
you got the glasses, but you can just pop them out and get like some super cheap, clear, no prescription frames, and then you and Brian can
Definitely
swap and trade. And
I would rather get hit by a car on my bicycle.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there, done that. It's not that I took the summer off.
Guys,
it was really nice.
It would be impossible for us to get to the bottom of this because we don't even know what an astigmatism is.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Actually, you said it wrong. It's an astigmatism.
I don't even know.
Do you have to say an A or
It's like a possum. It's spelled astigmatism.
But a possum is a possum, not a possum. I'm just curious. Is it?
I don't even know. I don't even know what astigmatism is.
An astigmatism.
Unastigmatism.
It's an astigmatism.
Unastigmatism.
I hate this podcast.
N.
We love you.
On is like on top of something.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna move right on. We're moving right along. Here's an actual feel good Friday story that I tried to get in last week, but we didn't have time. This is one of the cutest things I think I've ever seen, and actually, this was brought to my attention by one of our patrons. I don't remember who sent this our way. It actually might have been Lauren. First grader wears mask for school picture because his mom told him not to take it off at school.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is so fucking cute. When picture day came around at Mason Peoples Elementary School in Las Vegas, the first grader was ready. He picked out his favorite shirt, which happened to match his mask, and practiced his best smile that morning for his mom. Quote, my son actually lost 4 teeth within the last few weeks to a month, so he was proud of his smile, his mom, Nicole Peoples, told CNN. She said she was a little shocked when the 6-year-old told her he'd kept his mask on for his picture because she'd told him that he should only take it off at school to eat. Quote, we had a conversation at the beginning of school about the importance of safety and how germs can be spread if he didn't have his mask on. So he makes sure to have it on at all times, people said. The photographer said it would be okay for him to take his mask off for the photo, but he politely declined. Quote, I said, no, thank you. My mom told me I can't, Mason told CNN. Mason is a rule follower, his mom said, and even makes his bed and cleans his room like he's supposed to. What a fucking good boy.
Nerd.
His mom was really proud of him. And so she shared the story on Facebook where it circulated widely. This is amazing. Lots of people wanted to do something nice for Mason or buy him a treat. So she set up a GoFundMe page with a $7 goal.
Aww.
It has raised over $13,000,
no, of course,
which his mom said will go to his college fund.
It's a good way to capitalize on
That's pretty good.
I mean, especially since that's like 2% of his U.S. college tuition.
Yeah.
$13,000.
Peoples went on to say, this is a little bit sad. Peoples went on to say that her grandfather, who raised her and was more like her dad, died in January from COVID-19.
Oh.
Quote, he was a very significant part of our daily life. So Mason was impacted. They've seen it firsthand, people said. So that experience really made Mason want to wear his mask and know that it's protecting not only him, but other people, his elders, and other people around him. Even with the mask, she could see he was making his determined face. Quote, you can see that twinkle in his eye for sure. Do you want to see the photo?
Yeah.
Look at this fucking...
You can tell he's totally cheesing underneath that mask.
We were just messing with you, buddy. You're not a nerd.
Yeah,
he might be. We don't know.
I mean, he might be, but you're following the rules, and you know, nerds are just people who go deep on stuff they're passionate about. So
I was a nerd in school for sure.
This speaks to me because COVID is affecting kids in ways that are already starting to show themselves, but definitely in ways that we don't fully understand and won't for a while. But my nephew has, like, he's really young. He's 6 now. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, when the pandemic started, he was 4.
He just turned on.
And you know what I mean? And so, like, it's a crucial period of growth, and he's absorbing all of these things and rules around COVID that are like specific COVID era, which is only, you know, in our lifetimes is like a small piece of what we've had to experience. So we don't think about it the same way. And I saw he got sick. This was months and months ago. And, you know, he got sick and he took, you know, they went and got COVID tests and the whole family went and got COVID tests. And they were waiting for their test to come back. And we went over to visit them outside because it was for some occasion. And so we went outside and we came to the door and we were just basically going over to say hello and like drop off a gift for him or like a treat for him while he was sick. And he came to the door and he was so afraid to come to the door,
buddy.
Even to be on the other side of a glass door from us, because, you know, he had been told you're sick and, you know, we're waiting to see if you have COVID and you don't want to get anybody else sick. And he took that so seriously.
Yeah.
So he was, I mean, you could see the fear on his face, just being within 10 feet of us with a door in between us. I mean, he was terrified.
It's stories like those that are the reason why I attend the rallies that are happening.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, geez, Brian. And
it is interesting though to think like about the, you know, it's like when I think about the global event that had an effect on us in our youth into our adulthood.
9/11?
9/11.
Yeah,
I think about 9/11. And, you know, there's, I don't know enough about that, the social impacts of that to see how it's affected my day-to-day life now. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's studied this broadly and could really like pinpoint those things. But, you know, it's like thinking about even just like going to the airport, like the standard thing that we go through. That's just like a part of the experience of going to the airport that didn't exist before that thing happening.
Yeah, like no more photos in cockpits and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like
actually,
a global.
I remember doing
of,
that as a young child. And like, you don't fuck that'll never happen again. You know, like, so
I mean, there's a global tainting of Islam.
Yeah.
Like that
100%.
that persists today, where they're like, you know, terrible stereotypes are laid across anybody, any Muslim person, you know, because of that, and that has. I mean, that has shaped so much of our world over the last 20 years.
But it's interesting to think about the pandemic specifically and kids nowadays, because like, you know, when 9/11 happened, I was like 12 years old and I was sent home from school. And then, you know, the news for months and months and months was just talking about 9/11. But like in terms of like like the way it actually affected our day-to-day lives was not super
right. Because it wasn't
prominent here.
It wasn't perpetually happening,
right? But like these kids,
like it kind of was though, but like in weird secret type, like NSA type shit. You know, it's like like, and I'm not saying that to be like tinfoil hatty. I mean like
ways that you weren't aware of.
Yeah, ways that you weren't aware of. Like it literally changed the landscape of the way we use the internet and the way that we interact with like the apps on our phones, and like those types of things.
Totally, and I mean like not in as much of an evident way that COVID-19 has affected kids nowadays. And like that story of your nephew Tay, like, yeah, that's fucking, it's sad because.
And he might carry that forever, and that perception of him being sick or being around somebody who's sick.
He will.
Which like to a degree is probably half helpful, you know, in the way that he's like mindful of distance of somebody who's sick or keeping his distance when he's sick. But, you know, at least now it takes the form of something that's extreme.
It's going to be very fascinating to see, you know, looking back in like 15 years.
Yeah.
To see what social norms sort of developed out of just the process that we went through.
It's crazy I've been watching the morning show season 2 and it is basically covering, they rewrote it to reflect the COVID-19 pandemic and the start of like news covering it in the beginning. And it's crazy to think about, like back to the start when I started working from home and I was like, oh, it's going to be like this for 2 weeks. And how that is just,
and there's that
totally
scene
that forever now.
There's that scene at in one of the first few episodes of the second season. I'm watching it too, you know, Bri. And when one of the anchors on the show comes to the producer and says, hey, I want to cover this coronavirus that's spreading in China. Can I get a 2-minute segment for it? And the producer's like, oh my God, why do we need to find time for that? There's going to be, we've got the Donald Trump has been impeached. This thing has happened. That thing has happened. And they name all of these events that you forget were
happening at the time,
dominating the news cycle at that time before COVID happened. And then obviously there's been lots of stuff that has happened besides COVID, but everything has happened within the context of COVID. Like everything that has happened since COVID started spreading worldwide, everything is within the context of it.
Yo guys, it's Feel Good Friday. So what's your favorite thing that has happened since the pandemic started?
Ooh.
Becoming a part of the CBC family.
There you go. Something that I can't talk about yet.
Oh, okay,
okay.
Yeah,
all right.
For me, it's getting a dog.
Oh yeah, I guess donuts okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's been lots of stuff. Like I used to be on a pretty strict and expected schedule throughout the year, where from May until October or November, I was here. Maybe probably September, I was here. And then from September until November, it was like a lot of traveling with the podcast. And then from January until April, it was like traveling with yoga and being out. And so I felt like my year was very segmented, and like it was hard to get stuff done because of that. Because it like in my mind, it felt like I was segmented and I only had like this many months to do things for this, and this many months I was tied up with that. And now, since I haven't been traveling, like I do feel like I've got a lot more time to like work on shit. I feel less bogged down in the day to day and more like I can look out into the future a little bit easier.
You know what sucks is the feeling that, like, when I ask that question, I'm like, I know that it's been the pandemic for the last couple of years and we have to be bummed out because like it's been a global pandemic and lots of people have died and all these bad things have happened. But like, it's funny that you sort of, when bad things are happening, you have to be sad. You have to sort of like look, and I mean that you don't have to be, but it's sort of like it feels weird or unnatural to look at the good things, and which can be really hard to do.
That's what makes a gratitude practice challenging sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, my glass is half full all the time. I mean, hit me with a car and break my fucking hip, and I'm gravy. Like,
I can't say the same. But like it actually is hard for me to think about that question, Brad, because like not only did COVID happen, but like there was a bunch of shit that happened in the span of a year and a half. That's like, dude, up until COVID started, I was like, life's amazing. And then COVID started, and then it was like, fucking break up with my girlfriend. Father-in-law passed away. My dog died. My fucking grandmother-in-law died. Like there's just like a whole slew of bullshit.
Yeah.
That came with it. So it's not just the pandemic. It's like, it feels, but then part of me is like, do those things just feel, extraordinarily greater in terms of the like hurt because it's all wrapped up under this one giant tragic thing that's happening?
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't for COVID, would those things be a lot easier would going through a breakup be a lot easier to manage? Would losing my dog be a lot easier to manage? Or it's like,
could be harder.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I feel
everything,
the opposite.
man.
I feel
it's like we said earlier, like everything since the pandemic started has happened within the context of the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's not just a standalone event. I mean, if you look at, like, for example, like right now there's like a really big oil supply issue in the world. And that's not just an oil supply issue. It's an oil supply issue in
the global pandemic.
in a global pandemic. And it's like, it can't separate itself from the fact that there's a global pandemic happening that's also contributing to it.
Dude, this is why I don't want to get into investing, because I feel like you're so in tune with all of the shitty things that are happening in the world. Because I had no idea there was an
doom
oil
scrolling.
like nothing going, that there was something going on with the oil supply, because I don't watch the stock market. I haven't been watching the news.
Well, but India said it has 4 more days of coal reserves left in the country, so it's not good.
The other thing that I wanted to say to that too, Jared, is like, I don't even have a reason to be feeling bad other than the fact that it's a global pandemic, and I've been feeling shitty lately. So like, I guess it's just. Yeah, we're human beings, and we feel all these things, and sometimes people find ways to feel good about things, and sometimes people can't.
Well, on that note, Feel Good Friday is always a roller coaster, and like, here's another thing to feel shitty about. This is a post from Naheed, and mostly it's for the people of Alberta to feel shitty about. And I know we've been picking on Alberta a lot over the last couple of months, but we love our Albertans.
You've just been feeding.
You are just feeding us the goods. Yeah. And this post from Naheed, which is actually a little bit old news, but this came out last week. This is what Naheed said on Instagram. I'm gonna follow it up with the I believe it's City TV News, our news piece that goes with it. Naheed's post. You just can't make this stuff up. A number of people from Edson, Alberta, are critically ill in the ICU after attending a COVID party where they hoped to achieve natural immunity. Imagine going into a COVID party while life-saving surgeries are being canceled for people with cancer. Misinformation is deadly. Here's the article, or here's the piece.
Sources tell City News that a party here in Edson, 2 hours west of Edmonton, has sent, quote, a lot of Edson residents into Edmonton's already overwhelmed and full ICUs. One person we spoke to outside of the hospital in town said she knew of a party happening outside of town 2 weeks ago that had sent some to the Edson hospital. We're told a number of Edmonton ICU cases come from a party that was held in an attempt to get COVID-19 as a way to achieve natural herd immunity and produce antibodies, similar to chickenpox parties where children are intentionally exposed to the virus. Dr. Lauren Tyrell, a virology expert from the University of Alberta, says COVID-19 is much deadlier.
It's just unbelievable, and it's very sad and very irresponsible to think you would get good immunity from the virus without getting serious disease. And, it carries a mortality rate of nearly...
See, this is really
wild.
This is really, because it really comes down to when something affects everybody, you get wild interpretations of information.
Oh yeah.
And the problem here is that while you do get immunity from getting COVID, you do, and the
for a period of time, yeah,
just like the vaccine, for a period of time, it's showing now that the vaccine is there's 6 months or so, and there's different studies from different places, but whether you get the vaccine or you get COVID, both will give you some sort of immunity. And it seems like that studies are showing there's a particular study that is showing that it is greater immunity for getting COVID. The stupidity is in thinking that it's a good idea to get COVID.
Yeah.
Because by getting COVID, it's like, yeah, well, if you happen to get COVID because of the fact that there's a fucking pandemic and it just you happen to get it, okay, cool, you've got some immunity. You even get better immunity if you get COVID and then get the vaccine. Okay? It's just a dumb interpretation of the information.
It's just crazy because you can actually accomplish the same goal of getting antibodies and immunity if you just get the vaccine.
Yeah, have a vaccine party.
Which is fucking
like, just have a vaccine party, bro.
It's crazy that...
I gotta ask though, what do you think that party was like?
I think they probably just had a party and they were like, but do you think they was there a source? Was there a source?
I like to picture this like cult-esque part. It's like an orgy party where they they brought some unwilling participant who was like sick with COVID and like like coax them in
Yeah.
to this party. They're like, yeah, no, just come on. We're like all gonna hang out. And then they like bring them into a room and they're all wearing masks and they like,
No, they don't wear masks.
yeah, no, not COVID masks. Sorry, just eye masks, like
holes in the
No.
face.
the masks from fucking Eyes Wide Shut. You know, like very non-COVID friendly masks.
Right.
And then they make the COVID person stand in the room, in the center of the room, and they all circle around them and light some candles and say some.
You know what's fucked is that you have two. Okay, imagine you had two options. You're very anti-vax, but you have two options. One is to go to this house party where you got like somebody's gonna spit in a cup and they're
just
COVID,
all spitting in
and
each
then you have
other's
to
mouths.
drink
Yeah.
it or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
or like.
I mean,
or,
it is Edson, so my guess is that they were all doing, like one guy was doing dip, spitting in the cup, being like,
And somebody
Hey.
drank the dip.
drink from this.
Yeah, dude, that's
Oh,
disgusting.
thank.
or the second option is going to the
thank
vaccine.
you. I will.
Oh God.
That's really sad.
I'm
It's-
from Edson. you get it?
Yeah, I do get it. Yeah, he's from West Virginia too.
I'm just kidding,
this
is
folks.
sad,
I know we have a
guys.
lot of
This is
listeners in
sad.
Edson, and we do love you. And glad that you didn't attend that party.
I wonder how many ophthalmologists in Edson listen
Yeah,
to this.
I
podcast.
really do. I really just do think that it's an unfortunate
Event.
misinterpretation of information. Like people thinking, oh, if I get COVID, I'll get immunity once I heal from it. But it's like you've got a chance to be hospitalized from it. So like, why are you getting
Why
the
are you risking
thing
that? Yeah.
that would do that? And then the fact that like you're just
Well, they also probably are thinking that getting the vaccine is just gonna like wipe their memory and like
this is the thing that has been frustrating me ever since I think we mentioned a couple weeks ago on the podcast about there was an article and it was a physician, an ICU physician in somewhere in the GTA, Greater Toronto area, and they
Thanks
were
for clarifying that.
well, I mean, a lot of people don't know what I. Some people might be like fucking in Grand Theft Auto, a Grand Theft Auto doctor.
It's good that you clarified.
Anyway, and she was talking about patients who were in the ICU who hadn't been vaccinated, who were in the ICU with COVID, and like really horrible and sad conversations that this physician was having with patients who were some were begging to get the vaccine because they were and all these stories of regret and looking back and wishing they had done things different because they're knocking on death's door and they obviously don't want to die. And I had this thought like, okay, you get COVID and let's start with the vaccine. You get the vaccine. Okay. If you give everybody on the planet the same thing, no matter what it is, some people are going to react poorly to it. They just will.
yeah, you give everybody on the planet
Peanuts.
an O. Henry bar.
And some
98% of the planet's gonna go
99, no, not even 98, 90,
and then
99.999.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a crazy, the super ultra majority. And the same thing is going to be said with the vaccine. If you give the vaccine, try to give the vaccine to 7.8 billion people, you're going to have things that people have bad reactions to it, but you're going to get 99.999999 whatever % people that are great, are gravy with it. Now, so you've got that tiny fractional, like super small fractional chance that you have a bad reaction to it. And that would be shitty. And that's horrible. And I'm not saying that that's not horrible. Of course it is. And it is a risk, albeit very small. With COVID, you could say that there is also a very small risk, depending on your age, depending on your health background and everything. There's risks associated with getting COVID. But even at their smallest risk, that risk is much greater than the vaccine risk, like magnitudes bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got these two, I mean, now I'm talking at these people are thinking about this rationally, which a lot of people are not. But if you're looking at it rationally, you're going, okay, there's a super small risk in both, but one of them is relatively way bigger than the other. Which one do you choose? I mean, rationally, get the fucking vaccine.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it is.
I think the thing too that a lot of anti-vaxxers, I think that a lot of anti-vaxxers don't even like they acknowledge that is true, that the relative difference is it would be a lot better to get the vaccine. I think a lot of them just don't want the government telling them that they have to do this thing.
There's a sense of that,
which is fair and understandable in the sense that like I could see where that would set a precedent that would be, down the road you'd be like, oh fuck. But like the thing that they have to understand is that this is not like, it's not just like things were going normal and then we decided to do this. It's a fucking global pandemic.
There's no doubt that there are things happening and have been happening since the start of the pandemic that governments have had to do or feel they have to do, maybe is a better way to phrase that go against a lot of principles, like founding principles in said government, Canadian or US. So for example, I saw something this morning or yesterday that was about, I can't remember where it was. It was a ban on protesting outside. I think it was in BC. A ban on protesting outside hospitals.
They did it in Quebec, I know.
Quebec. So that's where it was.
Yeah.
Quebec banned protests outside of hospitals and something else. So it was hospitals and some
government officials'
probably
houses.
Government officials' houses. Yeah.
and the intent is they want to do this because like like there's a global pandemic and you're disrupting the ability to take care of people.
It is funny that people were banging their pots.
But
a year ago.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah,
now
just
they're
a little bit of a different.
Now they're doing them for a different
But
reason.
if you zoomed out from that and you didn't say, and you didn't give context to hospital not being able, and you said government bans peaceful protest, peaceful, stupid, maybe, but peaceful, yes. Government bans peaceful protest. That's something that pretty much everybody would be very not cool with that. And that's had to happen because we've just gone to a place where you got to do that.
The thing that fucking drives me bananas is when people start comparing these situations to other like movements that have been happening lately. Like I'm not going to get the vaccine because my body, my choice. It's like, those are two different things. They're completely different things. When you're talking about abortion rights and vaccines, it's not the fucking same thing. Because if you don't get vaccinated, then you can spread a virus to other people. If you want to choose to get an abortion, it affects nobody else. It's your decision, right? Yeah. So like when I hate when they start drawing parallels to other fucking things that are just completely two separate issues, and you cannot apply the same logic to them. It's fucking insane.
Another unfortunate event.
Feel Good Friday. Just keep rolling along.
But you might like this one. Missing drunk man spent hours helping a search party look for himself.
I'd like this.
Sorry, say that again.
A missing man in Turkey accidentally joined his own search party.
Oh my God.
And looked for himself for hours before he realized he was the target of the rescue mission. This is from Vice. According to local media reports, Beyhan Mutlu, a 50-year-old man from a rural region in Turkey, was out drinking with his friends when he wandered off into a nearby forest and didn't return. Worried about him, his friends then alerted authorities, who set up a search party and a search and rescue mission to find him. According to Turkish channel NTV, when news of the missing man got out, efforts to find him intensified in nearby neighborhoods, with a large group of volunteers joining the mission. The search party was, God damn it, Donut.
He just ripped down that plant.
Well,
oh my God.
Now he knows. The search party was calling out Matulu's name for hours when suddenly a man from within the group spoke up and reportedly said, "Who are we looking for? I'm here." It is unclear how Matulu found himself in his own search party or how his friends didn't realize he was right under their nose the whole time. Police were able to safely escort Matulu to his home. This isn't the first time a missing person joined their own rescue mission. In 2012, an Asian tourist who went missing in Iceland was also found in her own search party after she reportedly failed to recognize her own description. I love that.
You know what's really funny?
I love a good drunk story, and that's a real good drunk story.
I like that they were like, it's incredible that his friends didn't notice, considering he was like right under their noses. It's like
they were all drinking. Yeah, they were all fucking
sure.
wasted. Yeah. Earlier today, we had the absolute pleasure of recording an episode with our good friend Keith MacArthur, who is the host of CBC's Unlocking Bryson's Brain. And he has a new podcast called Unlocking the Fountain, which is all about basically trying to find the answers to the fountain of youth and speaking with people in the field of longevity. And fascinating episode that we recorded. It's going to be coming out in a few weeks. Can't wait for you all to hear it. But in line with that, something that popped up on Instagram this week from BBC News. This was sent to us by our patron Sadie. Thank you, Sadie. This is from BBC News. A man from Eritrea has died at the age of 127. His family has said, expressing the hope that Natabe Tinsiu will earn a place in the Guinness Book of World Records as the oldest person to have ever lived. Quote, patience, generosity, and a joyful life, unquote, were the secrets behind him living so long, his grandson, Zere Natabe, said, adding that church records, including his birth certificate, showed he was born in 1894. Wow. The year he was baptized, which would make him 127 at the time of his death. Now,
he got his driver's license in 1910.
Here's a photo of
Dude, didn't even have cars.
I think the Model T was made in 1910.
I think you might be right. And you probably didn't need a driver's license.
You certainly didn't.
But now you need a fucking license.
Dude,
that's an infringement on our freedoms.
Yeah, that's right. Here's a photo of the guy.
Oh,
dude.
Did he live to be 127 or his body is physically 127
I can't tell if he's alive or dead in this photo.
See, you know,
imagine that.
I mean, other than the fact that he looks like he doesn't have eyes, he looks
or an ounce of
pretty good.
Of H2O in his body.
Yeah,
he looks pretty good.
Yeah,
like he just looks like a weathered, like
he looks like
70-year-old.
I don't mean to be rude, but he literally looks like one of the mummies that were at the Museum of London.
But I mean, you see this guy in the street. Out of the context.
If I saw this guy on the street, I would immediately call 911.
No, you wouldn't. No,
yes.
He looks good.
He doesn't look that bad. Actually, his skin looks in good condition.
He doesn't look, I would never guess that he was older than 90.
If I saw him on the street right now, I would say Halloween is still a couple of weeks away.
You know, Jared, I think your eyes are still fucked up. You got to go see an optometrist, or maybe even an ophthalmologist.
This guy looks like he's about to summon the fucking the Scorpion King.
You know, when
that's because of the cane he's got. He looks biblical.
After seeing this photo, I was thinking this when we were talking to Keith. I didn't say it, but Keith did mention that a lot of people try to sort of like fabricate the fact that
claims.
I don't think he's the one fabricating. I think it's his family.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
I don't think it was him either.
Yeah.
Because I think he's a senile 80-year-old man, and they're like, you know,
well, he's dead now.
You
80?
know what?
80? You think this?
Yeah, well, now he's not.
You think that's 80?
Jared, I think
dude, this guy looks 127.
Okay, well, you know what? We're gonna post this on Instagram. I'm gonna post this on Instagram since I'm the social daddy, and I want you to just tell us what you think this guy looks like.
We should post it before this episode comes out. And we should just say,
yes,
how old is this person?
Yeah, how old is? Yes, that's right. How old is this person? And so you listening, you'll have seen it obviously because you follow us on Instagram at Sick Boy Podcast. And you're going to tell us how old you think this person is, and then you're going to find out while you're watching this, because obviously you're watching this on your
how old would you have
Apple
guessed?
Podcasts,
How old would
Spotify.
you have guessed?
I would have said
80.
I would have actually said 98 probably.
If I don't have the context of his age yet, I would say, I mean, his eyes, like his skin looks good. I would say he's 85.
Oh my God, what?
85, yeah.
What the fuck?
You could also,
Jerry, you're just tainted by the fact that you knew he's 127.
No, I would have said that guy. I would have seriously guessed 108.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't have.
Let's see what.
Dude, are you kidding me? Dude, I wish I had the fucking picture here. The nun, the second oldest woman on Earth who survived COVID.
Yeah, but once you get to a certain age, you just look old. Like you can't.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a baby. And it's like, how many weeks is this baby? Like, who fucking knows?
Guys, I was saying my dog was like 5.5 months old, and then I actually did the math, and I was like, oh shit, he's not even 4.5 months old.
Oh man, yeah.
It's easy to like.
Donuts 5 months in like a week.
Nah.
10 days.
God, shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, that guy's old as fuck, or was old as fuck, obviously. Yo, Tay, you came across something kind of interesting about
I did
about hot sauce saving our lives or some shit.
I did. I was reading this morning. This was in my morning roundup. I don't know if you guys can tell this.
There's got to be some financial implication.
There is no financial implication in this. This is so I subscribe to two morning newsletters. One is called Wall Street Breakfast. It's very great. It's from Seeking Alpha. I highly recommend it if you're into the markets. And the other is called Morning Brew. And Morning Brew is actually really great. It's got a comedic tone to it. Everything is written with a lot of sarcasm.
Sure, it's not Morning Bro.
It's called Morning Brew. It's called Morning Brew, BRU. Good morning, Brew. And it's actually BREW, just so you know. I highly recommend it. It's like a roundup, some financial, global, just global events like pop culture stuff. It's really great. So I'm cruising through that this morning. And at the very bottom of it, Donut, you're just gonna take that ceramic bowl.
Wow, he's really just going at it.
You really are. Oh, come on, dude. You're gonna come on.
I suddenly don't feel bad about my notifications being on my iPad.
You're gonna break this. Yeah, I know. Donut's twice as
Grab that
disruptive.
bowl.
No bowl for you, Donut. So I'm going through this, and I read that I see hot peppers, and we're fans of hot peppers here at Sick Boy, and fans of.
I was.
You were. Well, okay. And I read that the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded yesterday, just yesterday as we record this, to two people, so jointly given to two doctors, David Julius and Artem Patapushin, I think is how you pronounce his name, I'm guessing. And this was for their discovery of genetic receptors for temperature and touch. So they basically through reading through the Nobel Prize site, and oh my God, Donut, you got to relax, buddy. He's gonna kill you. Yeah, it's bad. Here he goes.
Oh, you just put him down on the table.
Put him down on the table. So through reading the Nobel Prize site, and a little bit of a deeper dive from the newsletter piece, you can see that that basically the nervous system receptors and the way in which we interact and understand our environment around us is like not a fully clear picture. And so there are ways in which the way that we smell things and how that like then interacts with our brain, and that and how we can determine that there's something out there that we need to avoid or that we should go towards or whatever. Some of those things are understood and some of them aren't. And so basically for this, the actual like genetic receptors for temperature and touch were like previously unknown. So that's like a big implication.
But it'd be hard to test with temperature and touch because like you would traditionally think that temperature and touch would have to be studied by somebody like touching something fucking hot or like cold or like
Well, and it kind of, this has a bit of a link to, we had the conversation with, I'm blanking on his name now, but we had the conversation with the pain doc. And he was saying that one of the ways in which they measure pain objectively, or as objectively as they can, is they heat up, they get somebody to grab something metal and they gradually heat that up.
Yeah.
And then they gauge the point at which that person cannot hold on to that thing anymore. And that's how they gauge pain, or a popular way that they gauge pain. Okay, so this is a piece from the Nobel article. David Julius, and this is where the hot pepper comes into play. David Julius utilized how do you say this? Capsaicin, a pungent compound from chili peppers that induces a burning sensation, to identify a sensor in the nerve endings of the skin that responds to heat. Artem Patapushin used pressure-sensitive cells to discover a novel class of sensors that respond to mechanical stimuli in the skin and internal organs. These breakthrough discoveries launched intense research activities, leading to a rapid increase in our understanding of how our nervous system senses heat, cold, and mechanical stimuli. The laureates Nobel laureates identified critical missing links in our understanding of the complex interplay between our senses and the environment. Okay, so capsaicin was already known to activate nerve cells that cause pain sensations.
Duh.
Okay. But not necessarily, because it's uncomfortable. But I don't know if I would have, before reading that, would have thought that it's painful.
I would.
I mean, I get it. Now that I read it, I go, yeah, I guess
I've
that makes
been there.
sense. But it's deeply uncomfortable, obviously.
Isn't that what pain is? Like
I suppose.
Causes discomfort.
I suppose. And I guess like a low level pain is discomfort, and then higher level pain is what we would say is pain. Like we have different vocabulary for the spectrum. But how this chemical actually, so this is going back, but how this chemical actually exerted this function was an unsolved riddle.
This is capsaicin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through experiments using capsaicin, the chemical that makes peppers hot, Dr. Julius identified a specific sensor in our nerves that signals pain and heat sensations. According to the Nobel Committee, the scientists identified critical missing links. I said that before, our understanding of how bodies respond to the environment, and their research has led to a rapid increase in our understanding of our nervous system. Their discoveries could lead to the development of non-opioid painkillers and treatments for a wide range of disease conditions, including chronic pain, which is interesting.
Wow.
Okay. So that's obviously especially the non-opioid, finding an alternative.
Why they won the Nobel Prize.
Probably, yeah, because obviously opioids are the thing, the topic du jour, and they're fucking killing everybody.
Yeah.
And they're fucking horrible.
Because otherwise it's just a really interesting scientific discovery, but like it's not, it doesn't have that same.
I shouldn't say that opioids are horrible. They're actually super helpful. There's just a massive downside to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They're not
true.
the greatest.
Yeah. So if you can find an alternative that, does the same thing effectively without the downside, then that's obviously preferred. So, I was thinking that, in light of this discovery, that the three of us could see how in touch we are with our heat sensors.
We could honor this study perhaps.
And, for all of our listeners out there, this is going to be something that you're really going to want to head on over to YouTube for, because I brought in a sauce that has lived in my, a hot sauce that has lived in my fridge for quite a while now. I think I probably won't end up using it all. I wouldn't use all of this.
I would fucking hope you don't use it all.
This will never run out for my whole lifetime, because you only need so much,
guys,
to really have a crazy experience. So this right here, this is what we're dealing with here. It's called Da Bomb.
I'm a huge
familiar
fan
with folks who watch
you've seen Hot Ones,
which this is the one hot sauce I believe out of the entire catalog of hot sauces that they've used on the show. I think there's 6, maybe 7 seasons in now. It's the one sauce that has been through the entire series.
Yeah, I actually saw a Hot Ones episode the other day where the guest said, "Oh, is this the joke one?
Yeah.
Is this the one that you just put in here to fuck with people?"
Yeah.
And this is that one. We have it now, and we came to actually own this through a funny story. For some reason, there's a really random hot sauce story in like a really obscure underground mall,
And it's still there.
And it's still there.
COVID did not shut that fucking thing.
I don't know how.
And Brian bought it one day because he saw that they had this Hot One sauce. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have some, and we're going to do the last part of the show enduring the heat from this. Okay.
Yeah, we're literally going to do the credits of the show with this sauce. So why don't you prep a few chips.
Okay.
I really don't want to do this.
I'm going to get the sound.
Yeah, great.
The audio.
I don't want to do this because I have somewhere to be in 10 minutes, and I feel like this is gonna ruin my night.
No,
I'm gonna pick 3 good sized chips for us. Okay.
Yeah.
1 chip each.
All right.
Okay.
A 1 chip challenge, if you will.
I thought that was 1 chip. That's okay. Here we go. That's a good one. And that's
All
a
right.
good one. And
That's a good
That's
one.
a good
There,
one
yeah.
there.
All right, 3 chips. Do you want to apply the sauce?
okay. Yeah, and I'll do it evenly.
Yeah,
I'll do it evenly.
Please do.
And if you're on YouTube,
Let's not fucking overdo this.
Let's overdo it.
let's
No,
not underdo it either.
Let's certainly not underdo
Let's. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Certainly not underdo it. So you got this sauce here, and what we do is we take the toothpick and we just take a little bit.
That's enough.
That's enough, right?
That's
yeah,
enough.
definitely. Okay, so
looks like
if
a
you're on
small
YouTube,
amount.
you can barely see it. We just dip the toothpick.
I think you should put some more.
No,
that's a bad idea, Brian.
no.
Okay, so
Not interested.
do that, and I'm gonna spread this out.
Fuck.
Get the audio. That's the spreading.
That looks
I'm gonna
spreading.
speed through this in the edit.
that looks easy.
You don't want to speed through that. You're gonna want to give this some time. You're really gonna want to enjoy it. You know.
Yeah, this silence of you prepping is great audio
Yeah,
for the podcast.
I would say something
it's
too, but
actually
I don't
really
know.
about
Hey, Donut. Hey, do you want to die today?
It's actually really about the sound effects of
Do you want to die, dog? Don't go near that sauce.
because you want it to be spread. Because if it's too concentrated, you might actually need to go.
What do you think he thinks? Do you think this dog is like, hey, that smells good? Like, what are you doing, dude?
I don't know, man. It really does. Like this is not a good smelling hot sauce.
It smell bad.
I mean, it smells like it's gonna kill you.
The thing that I was wondering is, do you think that it's just a sensation, or can this actually hurt you? Can spice actually hurt you?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
How?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It does hurt you. Do you not remember the fucking wings I ate in Fredericton?
Yeah, but
That hurt me.
But did it do? It didn't do lasting.
I
damage.
bled out my asshole.
It didn't do lasting damage though.
I almost prolapsed.
All right, are you guys ready for
Let's
this?
see you squeeze really
Okay,
hard.
now just for everybody at home, this is gonna last. This
Over
is
your chest.
this is gonna stay with us for about half an hour.
I feel like Taylor did me dirty.
No, I didn't. I did all of us equal.
All right, here we go. We're
All
gonna
right.
do the credits. Ready? Fuck.
As soon as you do it. Oh my god.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone. Oh fuck. This is actually awful.
I could do like 4 more of those.
No, you can't.
Thank you for listening, everybody. If you've been supporting the show, we appreciate you. Thanks for listening. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave a rating and review. If you're listening on Spotify, if you're listening on Spotify, hit the follow button. And we're also on the CBC Listen app. Dude, fuck.
Yeah, it's a hardcore.
I might throw up.
I started
No.
salivating.
And thanks to all our patrons.
And if you've ever had hot sauce that's really fucked your shit up, send us a letter to letters@sickboypodcast.com and tell us all about it. Or something to do with the show, anything we talked about today or anything we ever talk about ever.
Prep me a chip with a proper dab.
Say that. Well, Brian's really going for it. You can send that letters@sickboypodcast.com. Or if you want to be a guest on the show, sickboypodcast.com/contact. Fill out the guest form. You can maybe you can be on the show.
And we have a letter here. Hi, Brian. Hi, Brian, Taylor, and Jeremy. I listened to your October 1st episode titled Taylor Almost Died, Brian Almost Killed Him. Something Brian said caught my attention.
Look at what he's about to do.
That's not a lot.
Oh my God, Brian.
Oh, wow, he did it.
Something Brian said caught my attention. You said Taylor's making a gurgling noises. Same as the guy you had seen pass out at the Calgary airport. I recently had to do CPR on my father-in-law when he went into cardiac arrest, and I heard this sound as well. I learned afterwards that there is a medical term for this. It's called agonal breathing. It's not true breathing, but a brainstem reflex. When the body is deprived of oxygen. I'm not a healthcare professional, but what I understand in the case of gasping, agonal breathing, if the person is still not responding, CPR should be continued. It's a sign that they are near death and it is a medical emergency. Anyway, just thought that was something important for you to know in case you ever have to do CPR on someone again. Glad to hear Taylor's recovered, and I hope his ribs are feeling better.
They are.
Laura. Thanks for your letter, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
I'm going to reread that later when I can think about what that said. Thanks to everybody who makes this show happen. Huge thank you to Rich O'Coin for the theme music. Jeff O'Coin, who's probably his cousin. Jeff Lonis, who's our manager. Taylor and Jared, I love doing this with you. And Lauren, we still miss you and love you.
How you doing, Bri?
Good.
That's it for this week.
I'm Brian.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Jeremy, and this is Sick Boy.